Good evening, friends. I have just come out of a newsroom, and expectedly, everybody is discussing the state elections, the assembly elections in Gujarat and Himachal Pradesh. This particular broadcast is about Himachal Pradesh. There is not much to say about Gujarat because, the win for the BJP was expected. What, of course, is worth mention is the record margin of seats by which it has won, hands down. But anyway, there is a particular issue of national interest that must be brought forth in the context of the Himachal Pradesh elections. While I believe that states that see a new government every election have issues on which the elections were fought as a secondary part. The primary part is that the government is going to change come what may. Nevertheless, the Congress, the Indian National Congress, had made a promise during the election campaign, which is being seen as a major factor for its victory in Himachal Pradesh, and that is a very dangerous promise to make. In mid-November, Sirf News had carried a story about the difference between the old and new pension scheme. Now, the promise that the Congress had made in Himachal Pradesh was that if given power, they will reinstate old pension scheme for all pensioners. As such, let me share the screen with you because as such, there has been a new pension scheme and there is a cutoff year for that, a cutoff date for that. And that cutoff date is, being turned meaningless in the scheme of things. You can see on the screen now the a difference between the old and the new pension scheme. We have already seen that Punjab, Bhagwant Singh Man's government has promised to go back to the old pension scheme. And now Himachal Pradesh, since it has given victory to Congress, is going back to the old pension scheme. Now, the basic difference between the old and the new pension scheme is that the old one was entirely contributed by the government. The new one is contributory in nature, somewhat like the Provident Fund. So you, while working in the government sector, are going to contribute a part towards your pension, whereas the government would pay the other part. So as you can see on the screen, the employee contributes 10% towards the pension, whereas the government pays 14%. That's the new pension scheme. The old pension scheme meant that 50% of the employee's salary every month to him on her post-retirement paid entirely by the government. Now, several elections are coming up. First of all, in some small states, but significant states in terms of economy, in the Northeast, at least 3 elections coming up in the Northeast. Now, if the parties that are rivals of the BJP take the Himachal Pradesh election as a lesson, as a formula to defeat the BJP, it's going to devastate the economy. Because look at the screen. So who is eligible for the old pension scheme and who will get the new one? The cutoff date is 1st April 2005. So anybody who has retired before that gets the old pension scheme. Anybody retiring after that gets the new pension scheme. If the entire retired population is moved back to the old pension scheme, it means that entire amount that the government, which means Indian taxpayers, would be paying for people who are no longer working. That population is going to constantly increase because in the old pension scheme, there is no cutoff date. Imagine more and more parties, in order to defeat the BJP, resorting to this promise, saying that if you give us a chance to govern, we are going to go back to the old pension scheme. It's a populist measure, and the aging population will certainly go for it. So there is a very high chance that the aging population would want, who wouldn't want freebies like these, doles like these? So consider the consequence on the economy. What is going to happen in the economy in the case that all rivals of the BJP, one after the other, promise to the people the old pension scheme? This is the elephant in the room that nobody is talking about. This is a grave situation that none of the television channels that are discussing the two elections today are talking about. I told you in the beginning that I just came out of a newsroom, and it is in fact a senior journalist there who mostly tends to look at even political occurrences through the economic lens. And he pointed this out to him, senior journalist Gaurav Chaudhary, a very experienced one. He writes for Money Control. So let me not claim credit for this. This is his idea, but I see ample sense in this. And it's a thing that all people, especially the new, especially people who do not consider their own fate in the hands of different parties, but they consider the condition of the entire country, the implications of any party winning or losing. Such people must be very concerned about this populism and do not encourage parties that are making this promise. If you do, you know what is going to happen. Our treasury is going to be empty. The country is going to turn poor. Very soon, the states that made this promise of going back to the old pension scheme will have been left with no money to fund the old pension scheme. And then again, of course, they'll come crying to the center asking for more donation, etc. But the point is, by then, it is going to be very late for the economy of the country. Please save the country from such devastation. Please do not encourage such political parties and such populist election promises. Thank you very much.